Yeah.
All right, so we are live and we're going to welcome Cherry.
Good morning, everybody, and I am in lovely California here today, and you are all with me now. And Nancy said hi already. She said we're with Cherry. Would you like to say hello, Nancy?
Hello, Nancy.
She's a funny girl. Oh, just to tell everybody, I was exhausted last night because I know you all care, and I got this wonderful night's sleep, and so I'm pretty darn ready for all these questions we have.
All right. So at the beginning of our discussion today, we wanted to talk a little bit about feeling not good enough. It's so fascinating. I feel this way, and I know that so many people do. And in fact, I think everyone in the human experience that we are in feels not good enough. How can we overcome this or deal with this or handle this or give ourselves pats on the back that we are good enough?
You know, it's called the human condition and the belief in separation, as if there's, and there's many, many, many teachings, especially in the religious belief systems, that there's an upper that's greater than us, and then we are the lesser. And, in Christianity and that sort of thing, there's that we have to pay penance from the moment we come in. Right there, we're getting a message. You're just not good enough. You were bad before you got here. And, there's there's so much of it. It is remembering it's a belief system. And we're stripping away those belief systems. And no, I'm not saying, if you have a religious belief that you have to get rid of it, but because it is yours to move through any way you choose. But to move into the knowledge you're good enough is to understand that we're all of the divine source and we're in a human experience. People say, human experience, a physical experience, but we're a spiritual being. But somehow they still keep this separation. Well, the spiritual self's up here where it's all good and light, and I'm down here still less than. Instead of saying, hold it. I am in a physical body, and I'm a spiritual being. I am of light. When I first shifted, the way I talked changed immediately. And all of those self-deprecating, do I have that word right, Nance?
Good job, good job.
I mispronounce a lot of words. I like them my way. You all get to fit it into my dictionary. Anyway, all of those self-deprecating sentences and that sort of thing fell away. And I know when they come back now, I'm moving through more of my inner process, my earth walk. And it signals to me that there's another emotional aspect that's come up to be looked at. When we do those sentences and words that take from us, we're actually saying, that about ourselves, whatever it may be. I love my friend Nancy, but you go, oh, bad Nancy. And I just want to look at her and go, what part of you feels you're bad? That's not a truth. Where is it you're reinforcing something that was taught to you or said to you? Where is it you don't feel good enough? And then replace it with, hold it. I'm good. I do, magnificent things. And you notice there's a lot of you actually tingled to that one because you've given yourselves similar types of sentences and words that take from you that say, shame on you. And to move through that is to stop. Stop. When those sentences, those words come up, stop. And ask where that comes from. If you don't have time to look at it wherever you are at that time, look at it later. But replace it with a supportive sentence. It's negating who you are, negating all that you are. You're not seeing the beauty and the light, and that is because you've been told you are not beauty and light in the physical reality. This belief system has become ingrained. It isn't that it cannot be moved past, it's the willingness to look at it and say, hold it, I am enough, I'm more than enough, I am of the I am. And then you remember your perfection. Awareness is the steps to move through any of the processes. The willingness to look at the emotional body and where it has stored memories that have felt uncomfortable, and relinquish those uncomfortable memories. For they were in those moments, but they are not in these moments here today. So to move through it is to acknowledge the amount of magnificence you are. So that's how they would like to put it out there today. But really pay attention to the ways you take from you. I'm silly. I'm not good enough. Oh, shame on me. All of those. Well, they stem from somewhere, and it can be passed through ancestral lines. A feeling from, that was passed through the maternal or paternal lines, and you just absorbed it and believed it the moment you became physical. So there's a whole lot to this, Nancy. And we will be doing classes and things around this from what I understand.
Well, I think this is huge, and I think this is a great introduction to what we're possibly creating for our folks and for me.
Yes, for us.
For us.
I walked through this journey. I had this magnificent shift in awareness, yet they let me know right away that was only one part of it. And it was a magnificent one. I keep going, hey, can we do this again? And they go, no, you can't. And so I still open the doors to my inner walk, my inner process. So this is for all of us. There are none above, none below. All are equal. And this is something to remember. Yes, some will step into larger aspects of awareness in a way that might appear quite magical, yet it's still an earth walk, a process, and you can skip through it, run through it, jump rope through it, and have fun through it. Let it be a magical walk, an adventure in life. Feel how good you feel in this one moment. That is the idea. It isn't to hold on to all of the uncomfortable, the disparaging remarks. It is to understand this is a life choice and a life adventure and move through it with grace and ease. You are children of the universe, magnificent creators. Allow yourself to remember that, and you will find the life becomes much more delightful. I love how supportive they are. And they remind us over and over and over again, it doesn't have to be all serious hard work. Let's play through this. It doesn't mean we're not doing what we're here to do. It means we choose to do it in a different way than what we were taught.
Great. Sing and dance and have a carnival, huh?
Yeah, it brings up the old musicals like Singing in the Rain. I used to watch those and I really loved them. And I go, oh, who just breaks out in song? When they're walking down the street. Wouldn't that just be kind of interesting if we all did that? And it'd be entertaining.
It would, and it would be more fun.
Yes.
Well, let's move on to today's questions.
Okay.
All right. And it's interesting. I haven't read them yet. I don't know what I was thinking. I usually read them ahead of time so I can actually read them aloud. But what I've scanned is some things, questions about passing. There's some things about people passing, and so that's one of our themes for the day. But let's get to the questions. So, Paulette,
just to say, I'm going to interrupt you. And part of this is to remind people to be present in the moment. It isn't always a matter of preparing for, but it reminds people to say, hold it. We have this knowledge and everything right here, right now. So I'm present in this moment, and the questions come forward. So there's magic in every moment.
Look at you, girl.
I know. I got a good night's sleep.
All right. Pauletta, I was told I will live to be 112. What can you tell me about that? I was told that which one of my siblings would pass first and that my husband would pass before he got to a number that I would rather not put down. Wow, did I really say that out loud? So,
Here's the thing, and I did read this question first, and I did feel that end question, is we don't set about just one exit point. We set about several, and we can change our minds. And so when somebody puts it out there that you will live or you will die or this person, that may not be the truth. And I do want to address this for Paulette, is because many years ago, I did an exchange with a woman that does work similar to mine, and she gave me information that my husband would die at a certain age. And it put me into grieving 5 years prior, 7 years prior. I was more focused on, oh my gosh, he might leave, and I have this information, and so I would work and hold his energy. And I didn't live in the moments with him. I lived in the moments of, oh my gosh, he might leave. So, Pauletta, I would like you to negate that information you received. Those are only potentials. And live in the present moment with each and every person that is in your life. Love in each and every moment. For your husband may choose to live another 10, 15, 20 years longer than what was projected, because that's picking up on one potential, and we have infinite potentials. And you notice how serious I got about this? Because to me it's a big deal, but it was a part of my learning process was to go through this. The only times I give any indicator of when somebody will cross, and I get asked this quite a time because people worry about their marriages, their, connections with their children or whatever. Well, when will they die? That's not pertinent. It's how do you live? When are you living? Be present. So, sweetie, you may choose to be 112 when you cross. You might choose to be 135. Your husband may choose to be 60, but he might go to 200. Who knows with medical technology? We might be just incubated somewhere and wait to come back again. But the thing about it is life is happening in this moment. Let's live in this one and really enjoy it. If you've got an indicator something might change, well, be present right now and make it as fun as possible. Now, there we go.
Thank you. From Debbie, I had a dream a while ago that has stuck with me. I was a monk in an ancient temple, and there was a line of people that I was anointing and healing. Is there some symbolism to this? I have never dreamed of anything like it before. It was profound. I was healing the sick.
Debbie, this is an indicator of what life is participating in this life now. Look at everything that you do in this moment. Again, and this is something as I know Debbie, I know personally, and I know she's looking at it. And the symbolism in this particular dream is to say, hold it. I experienced that in that other lifetime. I hold all the wisdom and knowledge. Oh, notice how the words won't even come out. And when this happens, it's showing me there's an energetic layer that's resistant to this. So it's to remember that in that lifetime you lived as a celibate monk with a belief system and knowledge of raising vibration to assist others. Yet it put the self aside and looked at the self as to be unthought of. So in this lifetime, it is to say, I thank you for the information that this life has been that life has been interfering with this life. I understand I received the knowledge and wisdom and the experience of that lifetime then. I only hold the knowledge and the wisdom of the lifetime in this and let the rest go. This opens the doors for the relationship that I'm longing for, the understanding that I hold an energy that supports life, and I allow myself to be foremost in my awareness, not behind all others. The heart is opening, child. The heart is opening. But this particular dream, which you are ready for the information, explains a lot of the earth walk you have done so far. So there you go. You know, it's interesting. Past lives can come in and they can hold information that kind of holds us at a standstill in this lifetime until we are aware of it. There's many people that are going, gosh, I really like a relationship and I don't understand where it's coming from, why I can't. Well, if there's a past life that's holding on to you, that holds a strong belief that you're to do it, alone and without the thread of a love relationship, a partnership, then that can actually hold a doorway closed to letting somebody in this lifetime. So, just saying.
Fascinating. Juliana wrote kind of a long... We've got a couple of really long questions today, and I am going to condense them. This is just a short show. We've got a lot of people that we're trying to get to their questions. So Juliana wants to know, once we've left our earth body, is it possible to come visit or walk in to an animal? Her husband's first wife passed, and their sweet young female kitten was particularly snuggly and affectionate with him. And is there some connection?
Yes. There's the short answer. Yes. It's remembering when we cross over that we let go of this idea we can only be in one time, one space at one particular moment, that we're connected to the all that is and every aspect of life. And our animals don't hold the belief systems we do that shut doors. And so, yes, she came in to say hello, but she's, just momentarily. And it has more to do with his awareness of her experience of this physical life and being close to the anniversary date. She just came in to let him know she's okay and life is all good and supportive. What I love is watching, I have had two dogs, a yellow lab and then a Rottie. And the yellow lab was the greeter, and just this beautiful, very almost feminine, masculine dog. And whenever he would sit in the house, he would be halfway between the kitchen and the living room, and he would cross his paws like this. Now, Boomer, that's the lab, always did that. Sid never did. The moment that Boomer passed, Sid stepped up and became the greeter. All of a sudden, he became this warm, fuzzy dog, and I was like, to strangers, and it's like, who are you? But it was when I was in the kitchen one day and I looked at him and he'd been laying with his paws like this, and then it got a twinkle in his eye. It was almost like he grinned, and he put one paw down like this and deliberately crossed it like this. That was the signal that Boomer was in saying hi. Our animals are very easily share bodies, but there are those humans also that when they're walking through, you might turn around, look, and just make eye connection and feel the familiar energy of somebody you loved. They're coming in and saying hello. And it's all good because they have this, and the other person doesn't lose who they are. We have agreements in these physical bodies that we're not always aware of, So we may open a space and say, okay, come on in, say hi. We're magic. It's good to remember that.
I like that.
Yes.
Let's see. Okay, Norma Jean. A nice, concise question. Who are my guardian angels, and do they have any messages for me, please?
I cannot list all of your guardian angels. This is the message from your guardian angels. Is in the human belief system, the human walk, we want to know, and we believe, many people believe they have one or two of something. Gosh, I have an angel, I have a guardian angel, I have a guide. And they're here to tell you you have many. And then we want to attach names to them so we can identify them. And many of those who are what we would consider guardian angels or whatever do not hold names that can be pronounced in this vibrational world world. And so many will look and say, well, give me whatever name you want, or just send in like Tom or James or something like this. And I pay attention when names come in, so you have a Tom and a James there. But they're reminding you you're supported by infinite guardian angels. Let go of the idea there's one or two or three. Why would we support you only in one aspect, one body? We are there in great magnitudes, and we come from many worlds. So allow your heart to open and receive our support. The key here is to remember always to hold it at the highest aspects of love, that all of those that are supporting you live and are at the highest and most divine aspects of love. So pay attention to the names Tom and James, for then you will understand that they are among the group of what you term guardian angels, supporting you there. They are quite playful, and they remind you to play. Today's lessons and today's messages are play, play, play. And yes, I see your eyes going, what is that noise? Well, the dryer just kicked off. We're playing with the noise. Yeah. We got a few things going on in the physical life. I'm in another person's home and they're doing their laundry and the dryer just quit. Everything's done. We're complete. Done. There we go.
Thank you for that. So I love that, Tom and James.
When they said Tom, all of a sudden my mind went to Jerry, and they threw in really quick James. So that's, not Tom and Jerry, but Tom and James.
Wonderful.
And it did show him standing on both sides of her. So this is really good. And at times she feels like life's a balancing act, and they help her balance it. So just, yeah.
I like that. Great.
Yes.
Callie sent a book, and so I'm not going to read her book. Thank you, Callie, for sharing so much. But the main part of this is that her birth mother passed, and they had some issues, whatever. And so anything that you want to share, Cherry, about the passing of her birth mother, and then also she said something about sensations on the left side of her body. I'm
going to take this one over here because it was a matter of her earth mother passed, even though she didn't really have a connection with, and she spoke to several people that said the birth mother asked for her forgiveness, and so that she could move on to another world. First, and then the opening on the left side. And Kelly doesn't necessarily have, there was some limitations to the physical, movement. So yes, there was an energetic release. The left side in some belief systems is the feminine side. So it allowed a clearing to go through your body. I'm feeling a pain still going up the arm. And it's coming from the top of the hand all the way up to the shoulder. So it would be good to remember also it's considered that the left side is the receiving side where we pull in energy and it's not being released. And it shows the old female, and this is coming from the mother side, energetic movement that has not been cleared through the female lines on that side, ancestral lines. It's remembering that we are in a limited time period and format. So this is a question that there's a lot of in-depth answers to. And I would suggest that you have a session to go into that. It's also, and it isn't to negate information, but the thing about it is, as we are moving through this process of life, we allow in this much information at a time. And I'm just giving an idea. I mean, it might seem like this, and then we let more information come in increments. And it goes by the belief systems. And at one point, there was a belief system that there was such a heavy karmic agreement that we had to do life over and over and over and over and over again here on planet Earth and clear everything up that we screwed up. And my group always has me focus on the idea of the belief systems in mankind, and there's so much focus on the negative, forgetting the positive. And then came in the belief system, if we had a harm here, that we had to ask forgiveness, so that we could move on to other atmospheric ranges. That information is changing, and this is why I love Kelly's question, because it allows an actual platform to open the doors to further information. Is the earth process has moved past the idea of having to hold karmic agreements to the point they stop the soul in this evolutionary process. It's to remind people that as you expand or cross over, you go into expansiveness and into great awareness. Some will choose an area in which they feel they must heal, but that is in a blink of an eye for human time. There is no time, no space outside of a physical planet. It is remembering the aspect of the divine you are. And it isn't to say that you've always done life on planet Earth. It is to say to look at the expansiveness of your own universe. Look at the expansiveness of the multiverses and what life forms have been lived there. And to understand in those life forms is not the belief systems of the human understanding. This allows you to bring in more information, more awareness of the self. This is becoming much more common knowledge. So, dearest one, your mother and you chose an agreement for an experience, one that was beneficial to both of you, to the souls that you are. It is that you are connected at the levels of love, the cords of love for this experience. You hold the understanding of forgiveness and the unnecessary act of it, the same as she holds the understanding of receiving forgiveness and the unnecessary act of that. For each of you chose this life at the bond of love. Receive her love. She receives yours. It nullifies the disquietedness in this lifetime. It only holds you back. It is not holding her energy back. She pours love into you, for that is the agreement now as she's left this physical planet. It's allowing yourself to see more of the full picture. This is where we're at now. When you find yourself holding on to the ideas that all life begins here in this physical planet by the belief systems of these physical beings, shake the cobwebs out of your head and ask, what else is there? What is the truest agreement? I came for my experience. She came for her experience. We were in agreement. We may not have had a full connection at a physical level in this life experience, but we've always had a full experience in all life agreements. Feel how your body is now filling up with love. That opens a doorway of understanding. There is so much to say in all of this, and yet, of course, we cannot all do it in this moment. Yet, move through the limitations of the anchored-in belief systems. Question those. Look outside of those. This is part of the soul walk, the soul agreement. And it is also a part of humans' understanding and belief to these time points, and that there must be suffering, penance, and trauma. Again, we remind you, dearest children, of the universe says, you are magnificent beings, and you may create in more magnificent ways that are beyond the idea and conceptions of suffering and trauma and penance. Let that light fill your world and watch the changes occur. Delightful, delightful. And it fills this world with love once more. So thank you, Kelly, for the question, because apparently there was going to be a larger answer. Oh, you know, the group is coming in such a larger way because of so much that's going on this planet. I mean, there's a lot of what we call trauma and chaos, but it's actually fear, and it's being the old ways are being shook up. And so to break away from adding into that fear and that trauma, they're bringing it back to hold it. This is your life. And it can be done in a beautiful way with love, with light, with laughter. And as you hold that understanding in, the heart centers open up and that energy moves out around the world and supports it in another way. And what it is opening a door so that you feel the support from the inner worlds, but you feel the support from the outer worlds too. And even as just talking right now, there's a brilliance occurring on the planet that we're all adding energy into because each and every one of you have sparked into that knowledge. And as each and every one of you watch this, at any time you do, that spark increases. So. Wow.
Okay. Wow. I said wow, and then I saw Teresa's message come through. Wow, that hit home. Thank you, Kelly, for the question. Callie for the question, and Cherry for the answer. And Pauletta, I'm so glad I turned in. I'm getting something from this all. Awesome. And previously, Kelly with a K said, wow, just had a mini little sneezing fit during that message. Moved right on out of here. Oh, wait, that's not what. Good morning. I am singing tunes of glee and crying tears of joy. I am migraine free today. So I wanted to share that with you from Kelly.
Yay!
That's pretty powerful stuff. So we have had some brilliant messages today, and the last comment was a question was from Kathy, who joined us on Saturday and said, my heart is still glowing from the day with the ancients. Do you have plans for more of these local events?
Yes, we do. And to receive information of what I'm doing, where or what we're doing, because my beautiful friend Nancy assists me with this, is go to cherrydivine.com. I'm not grounded right now. We've been kind of way up here. And get on the email list. And yes, there's a lot of emails coming out right now. We're figuring this all out. If you don't want to read one day, just click it off. I don't feel like I'm not attracted to this one. Yet it will keep you updated as to where I am, what I'm doing, various online classes, now, I'm going to let Nancy step into this part because, like I said, I am not grounded right at this moment, and she knows and has the information more of who to contact, something about 5 or more, and they will come. Oh, I will come.
So what I said to people at our event, on Saturday is, and these are people that are all within driving distance of where we live, so this is kind of a caveat to that, is that if they brought 5 friends together, we would come to wherever they are, given if it's driving distance. The price of us coming, the price per person will be a bit more than what we offered at this event on Saturday, which was in our hometown, because we didn't have to find a place to stay, we didn't have to travel. But if you have 5 people plus you that you can bring together, let us know, and we'll work out a time and we'll come.
And I do see this. This is It's so interesting, the information that's given, and many times you'll find this in your own life, so pay attention to it. There's a feeling of growing in what I'm doing. And I can see, for me, it's coming through as an open doorway, and it just keeps funneling out like this. And I have the willingness, and Nancy has the willingness to grow with this. So when you're looking at your own lives and what you're creating, when you're holding your dreams and your visions, note the opening and then see it widening and be willing to take the steps into it. Not saying, oh, I can't do it because. That's what stops you. As Nancy and I are doing this, it's a matter of, oh, so this is where it starts. Not once do we put in there, oh, I can't do it because that's what limits us. And all of you have your own dreams. All of you have your own wants in your life. So let that opening be there and let it just keep growing. We will be offering somebody's throat chakras clearing up. Somebody just is, because as I was saying that, all of a sudden there was a block in the throat chakra and it started to become gravelly and then it cleared. So all of you who had not speaking your truth and not living it, you just had an opening. And so, they want me to look at something. Oh, I noticed how I covered my mouth. Pay attention to all this. This actually is information. Is I'm going, oh, you're speaking your truth, and then my hand went over the mouth. And that's where people believe that they can't do or can't say because of somebody who's in their world. Lower your hands. There's nobody limiting you but you and your own belief systems, because you're attracting those in. And yes, my friend Nancy knows this, and she calls me on mine when I put up my limits, my belief systems, and be willing to just go, oh, okay, there's something there. It's allow your worlds to evolve and move forward. Be willing to step into the fun of it, the flow of love. It's a river of love. That's what they're showing right now. That funnel starts with a small pointed, and it's love. And as you step into it and accept more of it and allow more of it in your life, it just keeps going. But I was going to say, we're going to be offering more online classes. We're putting things together, and it's just pure magical. I'm looking again at Mount Shasta. Many of you have asked about retreats. We're looking at Mount Shasta. You've asked about Hawaii. Right at this time, Hawaii it seemed to be in but it doesn't mean it won't be. It's just taking us to where we're meant to be. And if you want to gather 10 to 30 people and pull us across the United States, attract us across it, do it.
Okay, and so Kelly had asked, so Florida is not an option, and there's the answer, Kelly, without me even having to ask the question. We'll need a few more folks, so work with us and see if we can't put an event together in your area.
Again, let's look at, because, I love it because Kelly gave an example. Florida, see, I'm saying here it is broadening like this, and Florida is out and it went like this. It's like, heck no. What's the platform to be in Florida? Mm-hmm. What is it? It's just, let's let it be magical. I keep seeing golden, white, vibrating energy that just keeps going out like this. Talk to your friends. Talk to your spiritual community. See what it is. It's understanding. We have expenses. The expenses are, at this time in this physical world, it's good to cover those. Yet we can see it all done. And let it flow forward. And this is my life, your life, let's open it up in a way that's beautiful. Many people look out at those who are what we consider celebrities, and they say, oh, look what they've done. And there's, for some, they'll say, oh, it was so easy for them. No. Not necessarily. They went through their walk, their limitations through whatever beliefs, but they held more of a belief that it is done and it can be done and it is done. And it just keeps opening that wider and wider and wider. And this is probably our after show here, this part here. And this is because I'm visiting a friend of mine and I'm doing an event. See, she said, Cherry, oh no, I said, hey, Nancy, my other Nancy friend is, I'm going to come on down. She says, great. I'm going to put together some people for you while you're here. And, so I'm doing a group later on today. And see, all things are possible. What is it you want in your life? I want everybody who watches this show, no matter when you do it, whether it's right here, right now, or you turn it on 2 months from now. And since I haven't given a date, you may not know when 2 months from now is. Anyway, write down somewhere what it is you desire to have in your life. Then on the left side, I want you to put 3 of the belief systems that you are holding that say you cannot have it. And the reason I'm saying the left side is because there is that belief system that left is receiving, so you're receiving this information, you can't have it. But on the right side, negate those belief systems because they're only beliefs, they're not truths. And let them flow out of the body. So if you say, I can't do it because my husband doesn't believe in it, it's like, that is not a truth. This person holds a different belief system, and that is his. I am able to do what I choose to do, regardless of who's in my life. And it's funny that it brought up husband, because that's very common in this is feeling. And I had a husband that didn't believe in what I did. And yes, it was a challenge at first. Yet, he didn't hold the belief in what I did, but he assisted me in what I do in a way that he could. And that is if I was doing an event out like in Portland, on a weekend, I would wake up, he would do this beautiful breakfast for me. He'd pack this lunch that would feed an army. He made sure my car was running. And if I said I needed something, all I had to do was comment and ta-da, it would show up. He did it in his way, and that's what it is allowing it to be received in that person's way. I didn't say, oh gosh, you got to believe me in this, that, and the other thing, because that's foisting my beliefs off on somebody else. It's accepting that, okay, this is what it is. And then it just keeps opening. So there you go. There's your example. Negate the limited belief systems. And then step into when the opportunity opens, because you're going to find that opportunity all of a sudden is at your doorstep. Take the first step into it and let it keep growing. This is the type of stuff that will be offered in more depth when we are doing the classes and that sort of thing. And ta-da! I think it's good. I think it's good for today.
All right. Well, we appreciate so much you taking the time to be with us when you're traveling. I know that a lot of people that do Facebook Lives when they're away from their office and out and about, they don't have them. So I just wanted to say thank you from everyone, from all of us, for doing this.
Well, you're so welcome. And here's the thing: it's another energy just being brought in. And I'm glad that you mentioned we're traveling, because I am in California State, and it's about an hour and a half from this Nancy's house that Paradise Fire had been, and she has relatives down in the LA area that the Woolsey Fire is. So let's take a moment and let's just send love to this area. And let's see rains come in that put out all of the fires. But let's send love to support each and every person that is here, that has moved through this devastation. The energy is magnificent. We thank you so much. There you go. There's some people that don't feel energy yet. You notice I say yet, but there's a whole bunch of you who do. And when that happened, you might have noticed that your whole body began vibrating and tingling up. That's your energy, the energy of the collective. Just filling this space with light and love, supporting all of the inhabitants of here. There we go.
Well, you have a fantastically marvelous day today, Miss Cherry.
I will.
And we'll be chatting again with everyone next Wednesday.
Okay. Bye-bye, everybody. I love you.